Thank you both so much for coming in today. Again, I know that I'm grateful you both have met with me in the past and have kind of talked about the conflict that you're having about Mary not going to church anymore, and Megan, you continue to go. I was hoping today that we could talk a little bit about the argument that you had a couple weeks ago before church. I know that was a kind of an intense experience for both of you, and so I'm hoping that you guys can get a better understanding of each other's perspective. Is that something you're willing to talk about today?
Yeah.
Okay. So kind of like we did last time, we're gonna kind of have you both share your experience and take turns. And when you're sharing your experience, try to focus on what it was like for you, and the emotions that you felt at that time, and kind of how you saw things, and try not to speak necessarily to the other person's actions or words or behavior, but just really what it was like for you to be in that argument. And then also when you're listening, try to really put yourself in your sister's perspective, and really listen to what they're saying and try not to think of what you're going to say back. Right? I know it's tempting to do that. Is that something that you're both willing to do?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to have you guys kind of sit and face each other. And my role throughout this is to listen, but also to try to help you guys to understand each other. Again, that goal of understanding. And so there may be times where I might jump in and kind of like maybe interrupt with your permission, of course, kind of the interaction that you guys are having, and maybe help you to express yourself. If that's all right, I'll ask permission, of course. Is that something you're both okay with?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. And again, I'm gonna try to not jump in if at all possible. So it'll just be kind of an occasional thing as things are, depending on how things go.
Okay.
All right, we're going to go ahead and start with you, Mary, and just share your perspective with Megan and look her in the eyes. And Megan, we'll have you just try to really listen to Mary and see things from her perspective.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. When we had the argument, I felt completely attacked. I didn't have any chance to say really like where I was coming from, but it was all about you and your perspective. Every time I just, honestly, I feel like you make me feel like crap. You're this like perfect little angel. Oh yeah. You're like this perfect little angel that mom and dad love. And
I'm just gonna pause you, please. So remember, Megan, it's Mary's turn to talk. So we're just gonna let her. I know you have a lot to say.
She was totally out of line.
I know you have a lot to say. Again, this is her turn to talk though, so we're just gonna have you listen, okay? And Mary, I know that you have a lot of passion, and try to remember though that we're focusing on your experience a little more than what Megan's doing, so that we can have a successful conversation here. So I'm just gonna have you start off and just say your phrases starting with how you felt. So I feel, and then express how you feel specifically, and we'll just stop at your feelings, okay? And then we'll move on in just a little bit. So why don't you express to Megan how you've been feeling?
Okay. I feel hurt. I feel attacked. I don't feel supported when you make comments about me not going to church, and I honestly just want to feel like loved and understood, but I don't.
That was really good. That was like a really big improvement on sharing specifically how you feel. I could tell you were a little tempted to like go on, but you did a really great job just expressing how you feel. And same thing, Megan, I could tell it was a little hard to not to say what you were thinking. What was that experience for you, just listening? And why don't you share that with Mary? what it was like to hear how she felt about that.
Like right now.
Mhm.
Yeah. I guess Mary, it was hard for me to hear because I don't necessarily see it that way. I guess it was really hard for me also not to like just think about what I wanted to like not to just interject. But I also like I realized I think I was feeling some of the same things, just like the opposite. Because obviously it's you, not me, saying the things to me. So
it sounds to me like you both were feeling hurt when you had that argument. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back to Mary. Why don't you share a little bit about with Megan, kind of where that hurt was coming from?
Okay, well, so I feel like the hurt comes from, I feel like we're always like really close, right? But ever since, like I'm struggling with the church right now. And so I feel hurt when the person who I've felt closest to in the past makes me feel like I'm making a bad choice. And like I said, like doesn't support me. So I think the hurt comes from like a lack of support and kind of feeling like I'm losing you a little bit.
I think like for me, I feel like I'm also losing you. And that really scares me. And I shouldn't be crying. But like I think what you just said like touched me so much because we are so close. At least we were. And I'm just really scared of losing you. And I feel like because you aren't going to church right now, I feel like I'm going to lose you forever. You know what we believe about having forever families, and I just like really worry that you're not going to be there. But every time that I'm getting ready to go to church and like you'll make comments about like you don't know why I'm going to church, or I just feel like it's attacking my beliefs, and like how much that means to me, and I just don't get why you feel like you have to make those comments, and because then that hurts me more, and I feel like I have to be defensive about it.
So I can like see where you're coming from with that, but also I don't feel like the comments are like I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I just don't understand like why you still go.
Can I pause you for a minute, Mary? Why don't you kind of repeat back to Megan kind of what she shared about why she feels hurt, and just sort of, repeat it back to her to make sure, we'll see if, I just want to make sure that you both feel you're on the same page with kind of Megan's feelings. Are you okay with that?
Sure, let's see. Megan, I can kind of like if I'm understanding what you're saying, you're saying that the comments that I make, especially like before church and just about you going to church, make you feel like I'm attacking what you believe. It also sounds like you feel like you're going to lose me, not just like right now, but like our eternal family, because I'm making these decisions right now. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
Would you, is there anything that you would say was different about what Mary, understood from your experience?
Yeah, I guess I would probably just add that I really have a lot of fear, I guess confusion. I guess like a struggle because I really want to be like best friends still and get to like have that relationship. But I feel like it's not.
I'm just gonna, don't interrupt. Let me finish.
Thank you. I just feel like, I guess how we're treating each other right now, I feel like isn't getting there. And so I just like really, I guess, I just don't know, just like the way that we both respond, like doesn't show that.
How does it, will you share with Megan how it feels to know that she's so scared of losing you?
it makes me feel sad that you're feeling that because I do really care about you. And I may not understand exactly, I guess, your perspective right now, but it makes me feel really good that you want to still be close because I really want to be close too.
You both have done a really great job sharing your perspectives and how you feel. You're doing fantastic. This- is it all right, Mary, if I step in and kind of speak for you? Is that all right?
Sure.
Okay. And I'll just have you guys continue to look at each other. So Megan, it's really hard for me to hear how hurt you've been feeling, because it's hard to know that I could have said things that would hurt you, because I want to have such a close relationship with you, and I don't want to do anything that would endanger our relationship. And so it's painful for me to know that I have been hurting you.
Yeah, I guess that, well, do you want me to say it to her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you kind of share what was correct, or like if just in your own words, if that was kind of how you felt, or if you had to change anything.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I feel sad that things that I've been doing could make you feel that hurt. I also feel sad that I've kind of been doing things to jeopardize our relationship without really recognizing it. And I want to, I don't know, I want to try and be more understanding of where you're coming from.
Megan, how does it feel to know that Mary wants to do things differently so that you guys can have that close relationship? Why don't you share that with Mary?
Yeah, it makes me feel, I guess, really hopeful to know that you're willing to, that you want to have that relationship too. And I think I need to say also that I realize that the things that I say were probably hurtful to you. And that also makes me really sad to know that I could have hurt you as well. And so I'm, I guess, hoping that we can actually work something out and maybe start taking those steps to get there, back to where we used to be.
I want that too.
Yeah. You guys are doing amazing. This has been a very different conversation than the conversation we had at the very beginning when we first met together. And so you guys have really improved. And, what is something, it seems like you both, correct me if I'm wrong, want to do things a little differently, like want to change a little bit so that you can build the kind of relationship that you're hoping for. Is that true? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mary, what are some things that you feel like you could do to help Megan feel more loved by you?
Something I was thinking, I think I could do a better job of still showing interest in your beliefs, because I want to show interest in you and what you care about. So maybe asking about things that you learned about at church or things you're studying about.
Mm-hmm. Megan, will you share whether you feel like that would really help you feel supported and loved by me? And share that with her.
Yeah, I think, Mary, that would actually help me a lot because that would help me to know that you're like thinking of me and you appreciate what I've been, like what I'm doing instead of just like instead of feeling attacked.
Yeah. And Megan, is there anything you feel like you could do to help Mary feel more loved by you? Share that with her again.
Yeah, I could probably do more. I mean, I feel like I could ask you more of like how you're feeling about your choice and kind of like what your thoughts are. Because maybe I'm just assuming things, so I guess I could just ask you about your experience and maybe what you're doing on Sunday.
That would help me feel more understood and more respected.
Okay.
And it sounds to me like you're both have kind of a goal to to try to ask more questions to the other person, try to see their perspective a little bit more. How has this experience been for you, like understanding each other's perspective more? Like, what has that been like for each of you? I'll just start with Megan. Go to Mary.
It's really helped me. I have seen more of your perspective, I guess, and realizing like some of the things that I've said came across differently than I like wanted them to. And then it's helped me understand that we actually do have the same goal, that we both want to like still be best friends.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize like how my actions were affecting you so negatively and affecting our relationship so negatively. And so I like, even though I can't go to church right now, there are still things I can do to like keep our relationship close.
Yeah, one thing I want to remind you guys is it will be a work in progress. You know, we rarely change overnight. And so it's important that you kind of try to remember the things that you've learned throughout the experiences that we've had together, and remember that it's okay if things don't get better automatically, but that you're both working towards this goal is what is most important. And I think you've done a fantastic job so far, already making progress, and that's awesome. So if it gets even better, then great. But we'll just keep working on it until it gets there. How's that sound? Perfect. Great.
Yeah.
So should we meet again next week at the same time?
Yeah.
Great. Awesome.